Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Locker Room Talk Uncut. Drew Garrison, Chad Penrod in the locker room. Today we're discussing the Big Ten schedule release, the conference-only schedule release for the Big Ten, and what that means for the Michigan-Ohio State rivalry. NFL opt-outs. The deadline for that is actually tomorrow. Who's in, who's out so far. We're going to go over how the NBA teams have looked since returning to the bubble, and then the positive tests and fake positive tests that you've seen coming up in the NFL and how that may impact the season, as well as the spread of COVID through the MLB and how that season's looking. So lots to get on to today. Chad, what do you want to start off with?
Man, let's start in the MLB. We're seeing, a lot of spread of the COVID virus here, and particularly with the Marlins and the St. Louis Cardinals.
Fuck the Cardinals anyway.
Lots of. I don't feel like neither team has played in a few weeks. It feels like.
Yeah, it feels like they played I don't know the exact.
Probably about 2 weeks ago. It feels like.
It feels like they played 3 or 4 games when this all kicked back off, and then that's been it.
Yeah, so, one of the things that I do, and I don't want to take it away, and we'll continue to talk about the MLB, but I think that this is a learning experience for, the NFL.
Absolutely.
One of the Browns players, J.C. Treader, the Browns starting center, is actually one of the, I think it's the head guy of, the NFLPA, so he
I think he's the president.
Yeah, so a lot of stuff go through him, and he had an interview today, and some of the reporters asked him, what have they learned? And the biggest thing he said that they have to take away is that testing has to be more ramped up. Like, for instance, they want to know that day if that person has COVID. He said because then that can stop the spread. He said
Right.
That's what's happening in the MLB is these guys aren't testing every day. So, so they'll say they test on Monday, they find out on Wednesday. Well, all the rest of Monday, all Tuesday, and part of Wednesday, they've
Talking
been around
to
people.
shaking hands in the
Right.
dugout.
So,
Yeah.
and that's how it's spreading. So, there are other sports learning from what they're doing. But as far as the MLB goes, man, it's just, like I said, it's just the two teams, really. Teams like the Reds and the Indians have gone on without a hitch and continue to play damn near every day. Why, you got the Marlins and the Cardinals that have not.
And the Marlins, man, the shit we talked about last week, stay out of the titty bar.
Yeah.
they took a trip to the strip club, I think in Atlanta or something.
Yeah.
A bunch of the guys were out partying at the strip club, and then they've had just a COVID outbreak to just run through their whole organization. Shut down the series with the Phillies, I think, for a while. So, I know you said it wasn't a big deal for Lou Will, but I think these guys should stay out of the titty bar for right now.
It's just, the thing is, though, it kind of goes back to the positive test, though. It's going to happen. Everybody's had months to prepare for this. It's just how well are you going to prepare for it? The Reds had, we talked about the 2 guys last week that weren't even positive that had to miss a few games, and then you can tell as it just keeps going, everybody's just learning. So, for instance, Joey Votto, was feeling ill, but he didn't have a positive test and felt ill for, I think, 1 or 2 days and got right back in the lineup, which is the way it should be.
I was glad to see that because we had talked so much about it, previously, and I was like, man, just because you feel sick doesn't mean you need to go on the COVID list. And then, Votto was able to get back in the lineup, so that's good. So through that, I think, obviously they're going to have to go with the flow. Making up the games, I guess, is going to be kind of tough. I don't really agree with the 7-inning double headers either.
I actually don't mind it just for this year. Baseball, like we've always talked about, baseball is a long game, man. So if you got to play a double header, I personally don't mind the 7, but I see on, for instance, your side where you don't like it, where you want to play the full 9 innings. But yeah, they're just, the MLB is just kind of learning as they go, and you can tell what the MLB is trying to do. They're trying to get to where they make the money, and that's to the playoffs.
Oh yeah, for sure.
They're trying to, which we talk about. How are these teams going to make up to get to 60 games? Well, now they're talking about possibly being a win percentage. So.
Oh really?
So say the Marlins get to play 40 games. Is their win percentage better than the team in front of them, so, which is interesting, a little unfair to me, if you ask me, but
yeah,
it kind of is what it is. Let's kind of get away here from COVID and kind of stay here on Major League Baseball, though. The Reds back in second place in the NL Central, 5-6. 4 games back from the Cubs, who are 9-2. But with the expanding of the MLB teams this year, the Reds right now are probably in a pretty good spot.
Yeah, I mean, we had talked about how they got to stop dropping these games so quick, and David Bell seems to just be kind of clueless sometimes. But
he seemed clueless last night when they lost to the Indians.
Yeah, both the teams you follow and kind of root for playing for each other. Who do you root for in that game? Do you root for the Indians? You're a Cleveland guy.
Yeah,
so.
I mean,
that's a good question.
I tend to lean towards the Indians, not going to lie, but if the Reds win, it doesn't really hurt my feelings. So
fair enough.
But dude, and it's the same thing with the Reds, man, as it's been all year through the first 11 games. Their bullpen is terrible. And
that wasn't supposed to be the case.
Right.
I feel like that's been a problem that has handicapped the Reds for years. And the feeling I was getting, like, as I've said before, I'm not super, super into baseball, so I didn't hear it all. But for most of what I was hearing, they're like, our bullpen's good, our pitching staff's good, we got the bats, things are all going to be here. I'm like, hell yeah, dude, the Reds are going to be good. And, we were saying they can't drop the early games in a shortened season, but it also seems on the flip side of that, they were able to make up some ground pretty quickly too.
Right.
So, being back in second, looking good for the playoffs, at this early juncture. No positive tests from them that I've heard, so that's good. They must be doing things well in the house with that.
And kind of going back to that Reds and Indians game, that was just a perfect shot for the Reds to really get a game on the Indians' ace. Bieber was on the mound.
Is he related to Justin Bieber?
So he was on the mound, and the Reds kind of had him, right there. But then the bullpen comes in and gives it away, and with that being, now the Reds have to deal with Clevinger.
Yeah.
So
is that tonight?
Yeah, that's tonight. So we'll see how that goes. I mean, to me, it just doesn't look good for the Reds. Now you got their ace, and you let him out, get away with one, and now, you got the second man in the rotation in Clevinger. It's just, but man, let's talk about some positive here on the Reds. Let's talk about Nick Castellanos. Man, 6 home runs in the last 7 games. This dude is fucking got some power, and he's playing hell of a ball right now, man.
Yeah, he is crushing things. I've seen some people on Twitter calling him the best player in Major League Baseball.
It kind of looks like
it. Kind of looks like it right now, but let's slow down. It is a small sample size.
It's early, but man, it's just for the Reds to be 5-6, man. It's just like we said, the lineup is just so nasty. It just comes down to this pitching, man. Usually they're going to get you some runs. The way this lineup is set up, it should get you some runs. Now, they're bad in the bullpen, and they're really bad at their manager. Their manager's not good. David Bell he's terrible.
Yeah, I mean,
what is it with Cincinnati and bad coaches?
That's a good question. Dusty Baker kind of had his issues when he was there. He's good for a little bit, but yeah, I don't know. They've got to figure it out. They've got to figure it out quickly because, obviously they can make up ground pretty quickly, but you can also lose ground pretty quickly in this kind of setup. So hopefully, for one thing, they keep the COVID shit under control because we had said in here before, like, losing a guy in baseball, whatever. But then we saw it happen. We're like, oh, shit, they lost 2, like, really important guys. Right. And the first game they came back, I think we had just got done recording this that night. And then Moose and Senzel were back, and it was a completely different team.
I believe they won that game.
They beat the Cubs.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, they ended up putting like 9 on them.
Yeah, they smoked them.
So we were wrong there, and we're like everybody else. We're kind of learning as we go.
Yeah.
Let's switch this over here to the NFL, man. We'll start out with the guys that there's some guys that have opted out, and then there's word of some guys opting in, and then there's some, and then like we said, J.C. Treader come out and said that they need a test. Well, that's good and all. They do need to test every day as long as you can get it back that day. That's what I think should happen. But let me tell you something that is just, I hate it. And we don't want to ever get political in here, and I'm not sure that this is getting political. But these fake fucking tests, like, how the fuck is there a fake test? How is there a fake positive test? And not only that, they've got Matthew Stafford, and Matthew Stafford took a test, it was positive, took another test, took a test, took a test, took a test. He took like 6 tests. The first one was positive. The last 5 were negative. And then Gardner Minshew takes a test, it's positive, takes another one, it's negative, another one negative, and then Garrett Gilbert of the Browns, the quarterback for the Browns, third stringer, takes a test positive, the next one's negative. Now, how is this even possible? Like, how is it even possible to get a fake positive test? I don't understand.
And I think, like, and I even said it earlier, I think fake positive might be the wrong way to say it, because I don't think that the NFL is saying you're positive knowing he's not. There is a way, I guess, from the limited knowledge that I have of this, that you can have a false positive because of something in your body triggering it. I don't know what that necessarily is, but I guess you can have a false positive. I don't think, and I said fake.
Like somebody's fucking with the test.
Yeah, I said fake positive when I was doing the intro, and then I kind of thought about it. I was like, well, maybe that's not how I should have worded it.
Well, it's considered a fake positive, so that's what they're calling it.
But a false positive, I guess, can happen. And it's like I said to you, I said, okay, well, I got tested at a Walgreens. There's testing at all these urgent cares, and not to delve too far into that, but it's like you would think the NFL would have better testing than them. They've got all the money in the fucking world. They've got some of the top medical advisors in the fucking world.
Right.
I would think that they would have better results than that, but so now that opens the door to, Minshew. I think Minshew and Stafford both spent 2-3 days on the COVID list.
Yeah.
So that's what, going back to what Treader said, I think they do have to test every day, because what if Baker Mayfield is positive on a Wednesday?
Right, and he misses a game.
He's got a game on Sunday. How quickly can they get the turnaround for him to have as many negative tests as he needs? What is it, 3, 4?
Two negatives.
2 negative. Well, after supposedly having it, though.
Oh, yeah, two negatives.
Okay. So they need to be able to get the turnaround on that quickly, because, like I said, if he pops positive on a Wednesday, but they can confirm on Thursday that it's negative, how quickly can they get those tests in and out? That way he can suit up on Sunday.
Right.
And what do they do? I mean, they can't be around anybody, but I'm sure that they can probably get on Zoom meetings. Like Doug Peterson has tested positive, but he's been doing Zoom meetings with his team and stuff. So there's ways to keep them involved. But
what about when the game actually starts?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's going to be testing on game day.
That's what I'm saying. Like, say it's, it's officially the season, and Doug Peterson tests positive. What, is somebody going to step in for Doug Peterson, or somebody going to step in for Carson Wentz or Baker Mayfield or Joe Burrow? I mean, like.
Well, Zach Taylor said the Bengals are quarantining their quarterbacks. They're literally like, they'll do limited on-field work that they're supposed to, and then meetings and all that shit. They're in separate rooms, and they're locked down.
I was actually listening to ESPN radio, and I forget who it was that they brought on, and they asked him, say it's the Super Bowl and Patrick Mahomes tests positive for COVID. What are they going to do? And he said, believe me, that Patrick Mahomes would play in that game. And he said, well, how? He said they would give him hundreds of tests until he got 2 negative.
I think so. Just like we said weeks ago, if LeBron had COVID the night of the NBA Finals starting or Game 7, it would get buried.
Yeah.
I 1,000% believe that.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, dollar signs are what drives all these leagues. I don't fault them for having the false positives, I guess, because I guess it can happen. I don't think anybody was deliberately fucking with it. But I feel like they've had enough time and they have the resources to get this down to where you can get this quick turnaround. I mean, I got tested at a damn Walgreens and got my results in like 3.5, 4 hours.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like there should be something set up for each team,
right?
To where the only test those people even deal with are the NFL players. So say it's like that Walgreens.
Yeah, have them in-house.
Is that you're dealing with that team? They should be right there at the practice facility, right there at the stadium, where they test and it comes back immediately.
And it can be done, because when I had my swab done, they took it into the back of the fucking store and just had people sitting there going through the shit. So the NFL can bring them into the facility, bring them into Paul Brown Stadium, bring them into Berea.
I don't think it's smart. I would not test on game day. I just wouldn't do it. I wouldn't take that chance if I was a team or if I was the NFL.
They're not going to have a choice.
And kind of going back to all this stuff, a lot of these people are asymptomatic anyway. They're just getting tested because they have to get tested.
Yeah, but asymptomatic is one thing, because they could still pass it on to somebody that's high risk or whatever. I understand still getting tested. I mean, they're going to have to. It's not even going to be up to the team. It's going to be up to the league, and the league probably doesn't want to test on game day, to be completely honest with you, but I'm sure they're feeling pressure from higher up places to do it. So, but that is interesting, man. So let's say Patrick Mahomes was negative on Saturday, but Sunday morning it pops up. What I think they'll do, and what I would do if it were me making the call, like guys in Cincinnati used to not stay in hotels before games if it was a home game. They would just come from home.
Right.
Or the club or wherever. They need to, and I think most teams probably already do this, but test them on Saturday, get the results, put them up in a hotel room.
Oh yeah, that's what a lot of people are going to be doing. They're going to be they're quarantining them in the hotel when they're like I say they're traveling.
Yeah,
and that is
or
the
even
best
at home.
thing you can do.
I think at home Saturday night, go get your test at 8:00.
Yep.
Go to your fucking room. I'm sure they'll have nice rooms, PlayStation, Xbox, whatever they like to do, or more importantly, play books, film, and get your negative test result. Lock your ass in a room. Bring your own food. Order DoorDash. What the fuck ever, and you're just gonna have to make that sacrifice to play in the NFL. And opt-outs are getting bigger and bigger names.
Let's go to opt-outs. Yeah, man. So. Just keeping it to my team, the Browns. So they've had 3 people opt out, a lineman, and then another lineman, Drew Forbes, who would have been fighting for the right guard spot with Wyatt Teller. Now it just seems like Wyatt Teller is going to probably get that spot. And then Andrew Billings, the old Bengal, the defensive tackle, opted out.
That might be a hit for you guys. I think
oh
he's
yeah,
solid.
no. It's a rotation. We always talk about a rotational defensive line. Now the good thing about when these players opt out is that team gets all that player's salary for that year. I don't know if you heard that or not. So Billings $3.5 million. The Browns get that back on the books. And so they can go get a guy like Snacks Harris. They can go get Mike Daniels. You know, they could engage with another Jadeveon Clowney. So there's options out there and the deadline's tomorrow. So,
right.
If a big guy does opt out, there's plenty of time to fill his shoes. So like I said, Andrew Billings opts out. There's all kinds of D tackles out there right now. A guy that I wouldn't mind that a lot of people are talking about is Pecco. The old Bengal, the old ex.
I think he should come back
guy.
to Cincinnati because Cincinnati needs some D tackle depth too. But that's a different conversation.
Just put on a rotation there and. But it seems like maybe that might be it for the Browns. Other guys have opted out too, specifically the Patriots. They've been derailed, man.
Belichick's telling them to.
Yeah. But, Patrick Chung, their starting safety, Dante Hightower, their Pro Bowl linebacker, they're all opting out. But like you said, I think there's more to the Patriots doing it. I think that's trying to get your hands on Trevor Lawrence. And
the Bengals, Isaiah Prince is an offensive tackle who that position – should always be up for some sort of battle. Josh Tuopu, I don't know how to pronounce his last name all that well. He's a defensive tackle, and he actually got some decent playing time and a couple of starts last year next to Geno Atkins. Now, obviously, they have DJ Reader and Atkins. Their front two are set, but it's pretty
rotation,
thin.
Man. It's just like Billings. Billings wouldn't have been a starter. He would have been behind Sheldon Richardson and Larry Ogunjobi. So, but that is the biggest rotational spot you want right there.
Yeah.
Them big guys up front, the D tackles, the D ends, and we're set at D end. A little thin at D tackle now, but that's why free agency's there. Hopefully the Bengals can go out and sign some linemen. The Browns need to do that as well on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, and I think going back to the Bengals. And you said you wouldn't mind Pecco. He's got to come back, man. He's got a couple years left. He needs to just return it there. He's not great. He's not going to dominate. He's not Aaron Donald, but he's a solid rotation guy.
Yeah, and that's all you're looking for.
Snacks Harrison wouldn't be something that I would be upset about if the Bengals did that either. And yeah, you got to do what's best for your team here, and you're going to miss those guys, but you got to move on, right? You got to keep going. The show must go on. It's not, ideal, but. Tre'Davious White was a name that I've heard today that is still undecided. That would probably be the biggest name.
Ooh-wee. That would hurt the Bills.
Yeah, the corner.
That's a top corner in the league right there, man. Tre'Davious White is a baller.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. I said, man, that might set a precedent because you got like your star Latualele who was like supposed to be really good, but he turned out like solid. But you don't have that big, oh my God, what the hell are they going to do guy yet? And
outside of the Patriots, but the Patriots, like we said, is different.
I almost feel like that's on purpose.
Yeah, but I would think that too. But then I keep going back to they signed Cam. If it was on purpose, why would you sign Cam?
That's very true.
So it's just you're not going to get the one that first draft pick with Cam Newton. He's going to win you enough games not to get the first one.
You would think. I mean,
I can't see him getting the first one, not with Cam Newton there.
yeah, I possibly could with all these opt-outs and Jarrett Stidham. But yeah, Cam, I feel like Cam and McDaniels actually might work.
Yeah.
I don't know about Cam and Bill because like their personalities and shit.
It doesn't
but
seem
I
like
think
Bill has a whole lot. I'm sure it's Bill's game plan and stuff, but I think he doesn't have that quarterback relationship like Josh McDaniels has.
Probably doesn't. He's a defensive guy. I think he had one with Brady just because they spent 20 years together and won 6 rings together and all that shit. But I was thinking about that earlier actually today. I was like, you know what? McDaniels is probably really, really going to like him. He's going to open up a lot more options. The bootlegs, read options. I mean, Brady's back there running like a read option. You ever think he's going to tuck that thing and run? No.
I don't know if Brady's even running read options.
Probably never has. So, there's a lot there. It looks like we're on pace for the NFL to have a season and have it start on time. Got to see Burrow actually in a Bengals jersey with AJ Green, Joe Mixon, Jonah Williams. That was cool. I would really like to just see a video of Burrow throwing a deep ball to AJ though. I haven't seen that yet. Just in a walkthrough, just give me something.
Right, you haven't seen AJ in 2 years.
It looks like we're tracking to have a season on time. I don't foresee any shockers like, oh my God, he opted out, but you never know. Tomorrow there might be some surprises, man. A little less than 24 hours left, so we'll track that. Have any updates for you guys, on our Facebook, Twitter.
Let's talk about the NBA, man. The NBA's back. The bubble is working.
Another round today of 343 tests, 0 positives.
So everybody's staying in their little circle, and I guess if no one has it, you can't spread it. Nobody's coming in the bubble.
Right.
Nobody's leaving the bubble. So, it's a nice thing to see from that end.
Absolutely.
But let's kind of talk about that. I mean, the Lakers and Clippers opened up the night that the comeback.
They opened up the whole thing.
Lakers win that game by 2. Hell of a game. What are you seeing? I mean, not even specifically just the Lakers, but what are this first week? What are your thoughts, man? I mean, with the NBA being back, who's surprising you? Who's not surprising you? Like, who are you like? Damn, like what are you thinking?
Well, first off, LeBron James needs to find a rhythm and a groove.
Yeah, and I kind of want to talk about that with you.
He's not in it, and
they've already locked up the first seed, so I wonder, like, are they going to rest like LeBron and AD tonight a little bit? Like you're seeing the Bucks do it with Giannis, you're seeing other teams do it, so like
they're more likely to do it tonight.
Yeah, but
because they have Houston tomorrow.
Yeah, I see your point, but at the same time, it's like
I don't agree with it. He
has to find a rhythm.
Yeah, I don't agree. Don't get me wrong. I don't agree with it.
I think right now the Lakers need to play. They need to find a rhythm.
I agree. I don't agree with the fact that I think they'll rest. I don't know this. I made the prediction when they played Toronto the night they lost. I said the starters will probably play about 24 minutes and ended up being wrong.
Yeah.
But if they were going to rest, I would think it would be tonight because I think that they want to have a measuring stick game against Houston and see what Houston's about because they've been on fire.
Houston is the team that I've liked the most. And even though they lost last night to the Blazers, who is another thing to talk about, the Lakers might see the Blazers. And
they're healthy, dude.
Yeah, and they are completely healthy, and they look good. I mean, you got Dame Lillard balling out, CJ McCollum balling out. You got Carmelo balling out.
Dude, what the fuck is it with that?
What, Carmelo?
He hit like a clutch shot. Don't get me wrong. He had like 3 good plays with like 50 seconds left. And Twitter went fucking nuts.
Oh, dude, because you haven't seen that Carmelo in a while.
Dude, but it's Carmelo Anthony. They're acting like he's like they're acting like he's the team manager that finally gets to play on senior night and hits a couple threes.
I agree with that.
I'm like, chill the fuck out. It's Melo.
I just think that it's been so long since you've seen that.
He was playing good before it shut down.
Yeah, but he's never won. He's always been about the money, and he's always been the guy on the team. Like he didn't really mesh together with anybody, but he really goes good with Portland.
No, he fits in great. I was like, okay, cool. Bubble Mellow, that's a thing. But then I just kept scrolling. I'm like, Jesus Christ. I mean, this isn't some dude you've never heard of. This isn't like when Dellavedova was like fucking balling for the Cavs. You know, like,
and who's that center Who's the center they have?
I can't remember his name. Nurkic.
So, and dude, Nurkic,
whatever,
is balling, dude. I mean, they are loaded. They
yeah,
really
no.
do have a loaded team. I mean, you got Hassan Whiteside coming off the bench.
I said that on Twitter last night. I said healthy Portland is scary.
Yeah, I think that's a scary. I think the Lakers would beat them, but I think Portland might be able to cause a problem.
Well, that's my thing with the Lakers. One, Danny Green.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
He's just.
And
he needs to go back to Toronto, man, because he's just.
Or Houston, but he's just not doing it. He needs a rhythm. LeBron needs a rhythm. And actually, this was something that I'm gonna just play a little clip of. I thought it was pretty fucking funny. This was going on Twitter. My buddy Tyler sent it to me. Tic Tac Titans. He does a Titans podcast, but this is pretty funny. I'm not gonna play the whole thing, but this part of it's just fucking hilarious to me.
Danny Green can't hit a three, 'cause he got a mohawk in his mid-30s. Can't hit a shot, why not? And 'cause he got all his hair on the top and it's got to stop to the top now.
So that is Twitter user Mr. Ricky Spanish. He does this thing for the Lakers. He calls it slander to greatness. So like Kuzma was fucking up. He made like songs making fun of Kuzma. He said slander to greatness. So that is a problem with the Lakers too. Danny Green needs to play and needs to get a rhythm. It's
like, and the thing is too, man, like you've seen the Lakers beat the Clippers. But it's almost to me like the Clippers don't care. Like, and I'm not trying to knock the win. Because the one thing that the Lakers have done is find a way to win.
Yeah.
You know, they look like shit. They really do. Outside of Anthony Davis.
Well, even
and I think Kuzma's playing
Kuzma has been very impressive.
Dion Waiters was a good get. But LeBron and you can get lost in LeBron's stats. You can see a 27, 10 and 9 night and be like, how the fuck did he get that? Because he didn't play that good.
Yeah, but his fans will be like, and dude.
It's all. Dude, did I warn you about this or not? I warned you.
LeBron, like, I've said this before. There's such a difference between me on the left, who is a Lakers fan, and
don't ever be part.
Well, not politically. That no, not left politics wise. We don't do politics here. I'm just saying I'm standing here on the left side of the street as a Lakers fan, wanting the Lakers to do well. I don't give a shit what LeBron does, but I also understand that as he goes, the Lakers go.
Yeah.
He's the best player on the team, fair. But then you got the right side of the street, these fucking LeBron fans who it's everyone else's fault.
Everything's about LeBron. Everything.
Everyone else's fault. And LeBron was like 2 of fucking 11 at one point, and people are bitching about AD.
And he happened to get the putback. You know what I mean? He missed the shot, he followed a shot and got the putback. Like, oh, LeBron hit the game winner. Like, oh, that was fucking impressive.
Yeah, it was a fucking 6-footer. I could have hit it. Like, he got to bounce back to himself. And I'm not knocking LeBron. I'm not a LeBron hater, but I was obviously excited when he became a Laker because I knew that was going to bring the Lakers to the forefront. That was going to bring another guy like an Anthony Davis. So, but I get shit because I will critique LeBron.
Right.
I will say LeBron's being fucking lazy, and they'll be like, "Oh, well, he had 27." Dude. I'm like, "Yeah, dude," and he gave a shit for 27 minutes of the game,
right?
And it's just other times it's just like he doesn't give a fuck.
No,
but then he can turn it on and put Kawhi in fucking clamps a few times that game. Put Kawhi in clamps at the very end of the game, made him give it up to Paul George, moved those puppies, got out on Paul George, and got in his face. Phenomenal. Loved it. And people are like, oh, yeah, well, you like to praise him when he does good. Well, yeah, I'll praise anybody on the team when they do good. I mean, but I'll shit on anybody, too, because I'm not here for LeBron. I'm here for the Lakers.
And, we want to talk about LeBron being on the best player on the Lakers, and he is. But since the restart, he has not been the best player.
It's been
AD.
It's
been Anthony Davis, who's been incredible. And the reason why they've won a couple of the games that they've won is Anthony Davis had nothing to do with
30-point games. And the Lakers beat the Clippers without Lou Will and Montrezl Harrell. Cool, but they were able to do it on an off LeBron night. If LeBron has the same game and they have Lou Will and Harrell, I don't think they win. Now, LeBron beat them when they were full right before the shutdown. He beat them by 9. Everybody was there on both sides.
But like you said, you could tell LeBron looks rusty.
But if LeBron's stat line in his game is the same as that first Clippers game since the restart, and Lou Will and Montrezl Harrell are there, the Lakers don't win that game, and that's just being realistic.
Yeah.
LeBron would have had to have a great LeBron game to win that had they been at full strength. Now, you can only play the guys that are in front of you, but Lou Will's back.
Here's what I think. The absolute worst case scenario for the Lakers would be this. First round, they get the Blazers. Just because you just never know, man. Like you said, the team's loaded, and you just don't know what happened there. And then the second round, say they get Houston.
Well, the problem with Portland in the first round, I would like the Lakers to get like a Pelicans or a Grizzlies that they can put away in 4 or 5 games.
Yeah. The Blazers
Portland could
might
easily
take
go 7.
6 or 7, correct.
And you got LeBron who's older, Danny Green who's older. Not a young team, so you want those first 2 rounds to get out of the way quickly. Houston's look very good. I'm still not very scared of them. They got nothing on the roster for AD.
But they look like the best team since the return to me, outside of one team I'm going to mention here in a minute. But
Houston has absolutely nothing for AD, and I don't really think they would have much for Dwight Howard. Their bigs are just trash.
It's just how they are playing right now. They're scoring 120, 130, 140 points. Obviously, Harden is right now the best scorer in the NBA with no KD.
Because the refs put their fucking whistle in their mouth as soon as he touches the ball.
And not only that, dude, Russell Westbrook is just, to me, Russell Westbrook just flies through the air, dude.
I got nothing against Russ. I always like Russ. But Harden, they're ready to blow the whistle as soon as he catches the ball.
And they are small. But I'll tell you, another guy that's played well to me has been P.J. Tucker. I mean, he just got that left side corner 3 that it's always open, and they always have open.
He always makes it on 2K.
Robert Covington, like, there's always somebody wide open because you have to double Harden,
or you have to double Westbrook if he's crashing.
Like and what I think might mess with the Lakers, and I'll be the first to tell you, I didn't think this would be big at all, but them losing Rondo and Avery is. You can tell they're missing Avery. Defensively, you can tell.
He's a top 5 wing defender.
Yeah, on the perimeter, he's locked down.
He is. And Waiters has looked to bring more offensively.
Yeah.
Because he can create more when LeBron's off.
And JR's not doing nothing right now.
Defensively, Kuzma has been damn good defensively.
Yeah, he's hitting his shots too, yeah.
Danny Green's still a solid defender. But you can definitely feel the loss. And that last Lakers-Clippers game before things shut down, they won that game because Avery Bradley had 21, and he was putting clamps on Kawhi.
Who has been the biggest surprise so far to you on the return? Who have you been like, damn?
Honestly, Phoenix.
Yeah, they're undefeated.
I mean, they haven't lost.
They want to get in that 8 seed.
And the game winner against the Clippers from Devin Booker, they've been pretty surprising to me, honestly. I'm also a little bit surprised that Memphis hasn't managed to win a game.
Yeah, it's crazy to me. And I don't know if you've seen it or not. They just lost Jaren Jackson Jr.
I did.
for the
MCL.
season.
Yeah, that sucks. He's good.
So
he's coming along.
As of right now, who after you've seen it during a week, has it changed who you would see in the finals? You still think Lakers Bucks?
Yeah, no, I don't think anybody in the East is going to beat the Bucks 4 out of 7 times.
No, stop right there. This is where I got to come in. Dun-dun-dun.
Oh, shit.
I do not have the Bucks going to the finals anymore.
Who's coming out of the East?
There is a team in the East that, if I'm any team, I don't care what team you are, dude, they are fucking scary. And that team is the Toronto Raptors.
I mean,
dude, listen.
They're solid.
They are scary. They score. They play defense. Siakam is quickly becoming a superstar. Van Vliet is quickly becoming a superstar. Kyle Lowry, Serge Ibaka.
They put it on the Lakers.
Anunoby, or however you
OG
say his
Anunoby,
name.
he's a baller.
I mean, dude, they are loaded, dude. And another team that I'm not sure the Bucks can beat are the Miami Heat. Miami Heat is young, talented, good defense. Like, I could see the Bucks getting past them, but I think the Toronto Raptors might do a fucking repeat here, man. That they are, like, when you look at a team, because and you know me, I'm all over Houston. I'm a big James Harden fan, like Westbrook, and I think the Rockets have been good. And I don't think the Rockets are coming out of the West though. But I think the Toronto Raptors are coming out of the East.
It wouldn't shock me. They put it on the Lakers the other night. I don't think that team beats the Lakers 4 out of 7, and I don't think that team beats Milwaukee 4 out of 7. I could see that. I could see Toronto taking either one of those two teams, and I could see them probably taking the Clippers to 7 games easily. But I don't think that they would win it against the Lakers, Clippers, or Bucks in a series.
I think they're going to beat the Bucks. And the way things look right now, and this is way too early. This is where a weekend. They've been going for a week. The Lakers are very, very rusty. And like I said, it looks like they're missing Avery Bradley. It looks like they're missing Rajon Rondo.
I don't think they're missing Rondo at all.
I don't think that they are going to beat the Clippers in a 7-game series right now. I don't see it. And we're only a weekend. That can change next week. Next time we're in here, it can completely change.
Maybe this playoff
LeBron's got to get going. LeBron's got to get going. Right now, I have the Clippers and the Toronto Raptors. And I have the Toronto Raptors winning it all right now, man. That team,
they have kept.
I love what they do. They might have the best coach in the league.
Nick Nurse.
He might be the best coach in the league. He reminds me of like Sean McVay. Like this dude's doing things with a team,
right, that he shouldn't be doing.
And it's just like holy shit, like they play together, dude. Like they are a complete team.
I just think they've carried over like the same mantra that they had last year with Kawhi. They've gotten like kind of that Kawhi mentality. None of them talk a lot.
Right.
You don't see them on Twitter a lot talking shit. But, I mean, there was a lot of luck involved in that championship last year too. Like the 4-bounce shot against Philly. The Bucks had them on the ropes there for a little bit. I don't see those guys transcending. Like in the NBA, there's always the guy that you know or two guys that you know that are going to just take it to that next level and just put the dagger in somebody. And I don't know that Toronto has it, and I just think that Giannis does.
I don't know. I would disagree. I would tend to disagree because last year was it Game 6 when the Raptors won it. Kyle Lowry made some big shots.
Yeah, but I mean, even if Klay Thompson plays that game,
but
I don't think they win the title.
But that's like saying to the Cavs fan, well, if the Cavs would have had Kyrie and Love, the first year,
they would have probably fucking won because the
then,
Warriors are the fakest dynasty in sports. I had to get that in there.
But Kyle, you just can't take away a big shot.
No, you definitely can't.
Kyle Lowry made some big shots. See, like I said, Siakam is quickly becoming a superstar, dude. And they're just all around good. I mean,
yeah, I'm not going to say you're crazy for thinking that. I could see Toronto taking probably anybody they play to 7 games.
And don't sleep on Miami, man. Don't sleep on Miami. They're just. Coach Eric Spoelstra is a great coach. Like you get to see that after LeBron, and they're just well coached team, just like the Raptors. I'm not taking nothing away from the Bucks. I mean, the Bucks. I just think right now I would have the Clippers beating the Lakers. I would have Toronto beating the Bucks, and I would have Toronto beating the Clippers, which is crazy to say, but at this moment, I have the Raptors winning the championship.
And I'm gonna step in here to Paul George. He's looked really good at times.
Yes.
He's also looked really clueless at times. But I do feel bad for him because
he shoots a lot.
The game winner that Booker hit over him.
Yeah.
I saw that picture, and I saw the picture from when he was in OKC and Dame hit that deep game winner over him. I don't like Paul George. I think he's a follower. I don't think he talked all that run it back shit with Russ and then dipped after a year, all that shit. Said he was a Clipper fan his whole life after always talking about the Lakers and shit back in the day. But the poor guy, has been in such good defensive position on some of these shots, and they keep falling on him.
And he plays defense.
He does.
And when
he's
not
hot,
clutch now when he's hot, he's hot. Now he don't really have to be clutch because he have Kawhi. Kawhi's going to be clutch.
Kawhi's been limping a lot. I don't know if you noticed that, dude. I think something's like wrong.
No,
I think
I think it's just a lot of no conditioning. I think that's why you're seeing the Clippers go all out and play. And what you see too, and what you'll notice too, when you're not up to par, you will shoot short too.
Oh yeah, your legs aren't there.
Your legs aren't there, and you're seeing a lot of his go off the front of the rim. So I think you see that. But yeah, man, I mean, I'm excited I'm ready for the playoffs to get going. Let's just get there. I think the tournament to get into that 8th seed is also going to be fun, especially there in the West.
That will be.
Like you said, the Suns, the the Blazers, the Pelicans, the Grizzlies. I mean, who's going to get that spot? So that's going to be fun. Let's go to the big topic today, though, man.
Fuck the Clippers. All right, we can move on.
The big story came out today. The Ohio State Buckeyes, my Ohio State Buckeyes, and your Michigan Wolverines will not be playing the day after Thanksgiving.
That's so bad.
They are moving the game up to October 24th. This is going to be, I think, both teams' 6th game, with 3 more games after that.
Stupid.
Now, we see this a little different. The way I see this is, whatever, we're going to beat them anyway. My wife sometimes doesn't get a birthday party because her birthday usually runs on the day. So,
well, that's her parents' fault.
So she'll be happy about that. But no, in all honesty, it doesn't matter to me, man. It just, to me, I won't say it's just another game because it's not. It's the biggest rivalry in sports, but it's just, for us, it's another win. It's going to be another win. And for your guys, I think you should like it. The reason I think you should like it is you don't get that lost as your last game. Maybe if you want to get to a playoff, and now we're
not getting to the playoff.
We don't know that exactly. I'm just saying. But if say they are undefeated, they lose to the Buckeyes, they get 3 more games. I think it's more helpful towards a team like Michigan.
It's not at all, because it doesn't matter. Michigan has to run the table and win the Big Ten championship to get into the playoff this year with how this is going, conference only and all that. But this is my thing. It doesn't. It matters to me just because it's a huge day for me, my dad, my family. The Saturday after Thanksgiving, we got family in town. We go to the same place as Ziggy's. We watch the game. It is the game. The Saturday after Thanksgiving. It's been that way my entire life. Now, we can still go to the same place and watch the game, but we're not going to have all the same people there. That's a very big deal to me personally and my family personally. It's like the biggest day of the year for me and my dad. I get it, but moving it up to Game 6 to me doesn't make it any less likely for it to get canceled. If college football has a coronavirus outbreak and it's canceled, the season gets shut down, it's going to happen before October 24th. So they could have just left it alone, make it the last game of the year. If that season gets shut down, it's going to be before that. That's damn near 2 months in.
To me, it just doesn't bother me. I mean, I don't know. It just, moving it doesn't bother me the way that it bothers you. It's just, and maybe it's the same for every Ohio State fan. I don't know. But to us, and I hate to say it's just another game, because it's not just another game. It's the game. It's the rivalry. But it's just, to us, it's another win.
That's fine, but the tradition of that game, what goes into it, the history of it. Now, granted, if it still would have been the last game of the year, it would have been November 21st, and I think that's still before Thanksgiving. So, but it's supposed to be the last regular season game, and I don't think moving it up 4 weeks is going to make that much of a difference. If the season's going to shut down, it's going to happen before then.
Yeah, I just think, I don't know.
So what's the point? If you're really that worried about it not getting canceled, fuck it, dude. Start the season that way.
Yeah.
Like I just don't get it. The rationale to it does. Like, I can understand what they were thinking, but I just feel like if you get 6 weeks into a season, you're going to finish out the last 4.
This is just a different year, So I would be just happy to have it.
Yeah, and the world's fucking crazy right now. So this is a year Harbaugh puts it on you, motherfuckers. How about that? He's a fucking idiot. Yeah, but right. COVID's fucked up. The world's twisted upside down. Everything's crazy. We're going to fucking win.
Not even COVID can save Harbaugh.
And fuck Justin Fields into the sun for eternity.
So the rumor came out today, and I don't know if anyone's heard this yet.
That's not true.
No, I've heard. Yeah, I've actually heard this is real.
I don't believe that.
Why would ESPN say it?
How would Harbaugh know?
On 1410 ESPN, this radio. This is when I text you this morning, and this is what was said. They said, and I forget the full story because I sent it to you. I just thought it was crazy, but they said somehow Harbaugh got upset because the Buckeyes were doing on-field, I don't know, hand on with the coaches, and whatever it was, they broke some kind of rule and it wasn't supposed to be on until Friday. Apparently, that's allegedly.
How would he know that?
Well, apparently this was a Big Ten call. All the coaches, and Ryan Day spoke up and said, whatever. We're gonna hang. You better hope there's a mercy rule because we're gonna hang 100 on you if we get the chance. Now we don't know if this is true, but this is what 1410 ESPN said.
But no other
this
ESPN
morning.
outlet has said it. That's what I want to know.
Well,
Why isn't it a bigger deal?
And
that
then
would be a huge
so
deal.
then somebody comes out and says that that's why Justin Fields got mad today.
And I believe what Justin Fields said is real because I've seen it everywhere.
Right. And Justin Fields said, "Hey, we're gonna." He
said, "I don't care when we
anytime,
play."
any place. I don't care when we play. I just want to smash them, pretty much." He said something along those
So
lines.
he wants to beat the brakes off him. And
Yeah.
that's what he should say.
Right, and
that's
he should.
Fine.
And then you see the countdown clock for the Michigan game back in the Ohio State locker room. That's been posted.
It's always in there.
Yeah,
Ohio State never took it
but
out.
I'm saying it's,
Harbaugh took it out.
I'm saying it from the new time, the new days.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
and or hours.
Yeah, because
or whatever
Ohio
it is.
State eats, sleeps, and breathes that shit the way Michigan should. And Harbaugh just put it back in this year. He's a fucking moron.
Yeah.
He came in and he's like, every game's just another game. Every game is another game when you're playing anybody else.
Yeah.
Anybody else. But get with the fucking program. You played in it. You won it. You played for Bo fucking Schembechler, dude. You're a fucking moron. I'm sorry. He's the new Marvin Lewis of my life. Fuck Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah, so the story was said on ESPN, and that's when Fields came out. If it's true or not, I don't know, but that's the rumor.
I don't
And
believe it because
there's always rumors.
1410 is a couple guys from around here.
No, not all day. No, it's not.
Well, no, but I'm saying you said Kenner and Schlimmer were saying
No,
it, right?
they're not on until 3.
Who said it then? Whose show was it?
You'd have to look it up to 8 o'clock when I forget.
I just feel like I would have heard.
It ain't Golick. It's the guys that come on after Golick.
Yeah, because Golick's over, so it's been weird. I don't know. I just feel like that should have blown up more. I should have seen more about it other than.
No, and I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying that was the rumor that I heard this morning.
I don't think Ryan
on
Day has
ESPN.
those kind of balls.
I don't know. I
Fuck
don't
Ryan
know.
Day,
I don't know. It just depends on how he's taking the rivalry because obviously Harbaugh is not taking it very serious. So let's kind of jump.
Lose 5 of them.
Let's kind of jump into the schedule here and tell me what you see on Michigan's side. Go down those 10 games because they've taken out all non-conference games, so the Big Ten only has Big Ten teams that they play this year. And we'll start with Michigan first. So go down that list and let me know what you're thinking. What do you see? What is the record? Where do you see your losses? Where do you see your wins?
Well, I told you.
And just do it quick. I mean, you don't have to go through every one of them. Just what do you see for the season?
I told you earlier in the text message, I easily see 4 games that they could drop, just because I have no fucking belief in Harbaugh. I love Joe Milton. I love Nico Collins. I love Zach Charbonnet. I love a lot of things that are going on, but I don't have the fucking faith in Harbaugh to win anything. So week 1, Purdue, I think they win.
Win that.
I could see them losing to Minnesota week 2.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Minnesota did just lose their best receiver. I can't think of his name, but he's like all Big Ten. He opted out to focus on the draft.
Penn State.
I could see them losing to Penn State.
Well, they're saying Penn State's going to be top 5, top 6 team in the country.
Luckily,
they did just lose their linebacker today as well. He opted out.
Yeah. What's his name? He's the top guy.
Yeah,
too.
one of their top linebackers.
Rutgers has never scored a point against Michigan since they've been in the Big Ten. I'm pretty sure. I don't even think that's an exaggeration. Michigan State's pretty down and out. I think they win that. Indiana always seems to fuck with Michigan the week before Ohio State. I don't know if they're looking forward or not, but they're playing them before Ohio State again. But I see them beating Indiana. They're going to lose to Ohio State unless there's just been some crazy come to Jesus moment for Harbaugh. And I've said it on the show before. He's been broken since the fumbled punt against Michigan State, and then the terrible spot where J.T. Barrett was short on 4th down. I think that broke his spirit and his will. He's never been the same guy since. I could see them losing to Wisconsin pretty easily. I think they'll beat Maryland. I think they'll beat Northwestern. So, prediction, beat Purdue. Let's say they squeak it out against Minnesota. I think they lose to Penn State, beat Rutgers, beat Michigan State, beat Indiana, lose to Ohio State, lose to Wisconsin. So I think they're going to go 7-3.
Yeah, I agree. I have 7-3 for Michigan. Now you kind of look at those teams that Michigan have, like the Minnesotas, like the Wisconsins, and those teams are not on Ohio State's schedule this year.
Of course they're not.
So the Buckeyes open up on a Thursday at Illinois. Then they have the Rutgers. Then they have
Thursday?
Yeah, then they have the Rutgers. Then they have Purdue. Then they have Indiana. Then a bye. Then Nebraska. 5-0 easily.
Indiana always fucks with Ohio State and Michigan just a little bit, though. They never win, but they always fuck with them for long enough to make you think.
Maybe an Urban Meyer team, not a Ryan Day team.
Fuck Ryan Day. Fuck Urban Meyer.
Michigan State, that's a win. Michigan, that's a win. Maryland, that's a win. Penn State, that gets tough because that's in Penn State. Probably no fans though, so no whiteout.
That's not really going to matter.
We'll kind of see how that one goes as the year goes. and then they end at Iowa. They always seem to have trouble with Iowa, but this one is at home. They usually have trouble in Iowa.
A lot of teams do.
Yeah, Iowa's like full of like fucking wrestlers, so so like linebackers are real good and that shit. I think this is an easy 10-0 season for the Buckeyes, and they make it to the playoffs. Not trying to be. I mean, it's just you don't play the Minnesotas, you don't play the Wisconsin.
They never fucking do.
Dude.
It's
just.
Ohio State always
And then
gets
obviously,
shit.
and then we play the Big Ten championship probably against Wisconsin, I would assume. Which I don't know. I just don't see a lot of competition for Ohio State in the Big Ten.
I hope they all break their fucking legs.
I think the toughest game on that is Penn State at Penn State.
And
But like I said, no fans.
how many times over the years, like even in like the fucking John O'Corn year, Michigan will get out to a 14, 17 point lead on Ohio State. It's happened a few times.
Yeah.
But they just never fucking finish. I could talk about this all day. I got a Jim Harbaugh jersey hanging up here in the locker room. I should catch it on fire. I don't like that motherfucker. I think he should have been fired 2 years ago. I don't know what the fuck the deal is.
But you dressed up like him one year and all that, man.
2016, his third year, number 3 team in the country playing the number 1 team in the country, I think, or whatever the fuck it was. Shit was going on. Like, fuck yeah, my dad's Woody, I'm Harbaugh. I fucking threw my headset and broke it in the bar that year.
That was an Xbox headset.
It was. Got kicked out, then came back in because I called some lady some very, very mean names, some words that I should never say. But, yeah, I don't know, man. I get rid of Marvin Lewis, and it's like now Michigan's like, well, fuck it, dude. 16 years of Harbaugh, blowing big games, never winning as an underdog. Like, the recruiting classes are all good.
Yeah.
So fuck him, too. Fuck everybody.
As bad as I want to say, as bad as it burns me to say this is the one sport, not necessarily sport, college football is the one thing I worry about the most with getting through the season. There aren't bad, it's just, I think the NFL makes it through.
Yeah, because the NFL can say these are grown men that are paid to take the risk. These are college kids.
So it just, I wonder how far it goes. I don't think it goes very far. I hope so, though, man.
It definitely doesn't go 6 weeks, so leave the fucking game where it's supposed to be. Make it the end of the goddamn year.
I just, I hope it happens, and we'll see if it happens.
Yeah, I mean, and obviously I hope for it. And if it doesn't, let's say, the NFL should move quickly and give us NFL football on Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah, that would be great. I think that's a great idea.
I just wouldn't move from my couch for a whole weekend.
Yeah, half and half. I like that.
And I'm sure there's probably some contingency plan because I know that they had discussed it. But if college football doesn't make it for some reason, beautiful way to make the NFL probably more TV revenue to make up for the loss.
Half and half. I agree.
Give me a Saturday, Sunday. I'll sit on the couch.
Although I do
Saturday
like
morning.
Sunday of having all the TV, which you'd get it.
You still have it on both days, yeah.
So yeah,
get
you'd
fatter.
actually be able to watch more games. So yeah, I like
absolutely.
It. I like it. I like that plan.
So I think that's pretty much everything we have. I'm sorry for saying fuck so many people this episode.
You shouldn't fucking say that fucking word, dude.
No, I'm going to say fuck all the time, but I mean, and everybody on this show that I said fuck him, I will mean that forever. Like, fuck them forever. If I say fuck you, it's fuck you. Sorry, kids. So I think that's about all we have. I'm a little bit fired up today.
So you're not going to invite Harbaugh over for dinner anytime soon?
I would, and I would fucking just berate
Put something
him.
in his food or something?
I wouldn't poison him. I don't want him to die, but I think I would tell him, like, what the fuck? Because, dude, we were so excited when he came back. We're like, dude, Urban, Harbaugh, Bo and Woody 2.0, let's go. And now, Urban's got health problems, and those will probably go away as soon as USC has $45 million for him, but I personally think Ryan Day's better anyway.
You know me. What have
But
I been
also,
saying?
fuck Ryan Day.
I've been saying it, right? I've been saying Ryan. I'm glad we got Ryan Day.
So that's all we got for you guys this week. We're going to keep in touch with everything that we've talked about going on. Also, the UFC event's coming up. That's next weekend, right?
Next weekend, not this weekend.
Your birthday
next
weekend.
Yeah.
We're going to have a
some
good one
drinks
going.
and watch the Stipe and DC fight. I can't wait.
So we'll do that. We'll have preview of that next week. Obviously, the NBA is going to be heating up, getting into the playoffs. That's when things are going to get real. Obviously, MLB, I don't really know what to say to that. I don't know if it's going to stay or not, but we'll be on top of everything.
It's staying. It's staying. They just got to make it to the playoffs.
Yeah, that's all they got to do. So we appreciate everybody tuning in. Look out for us next week. Get with us. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We should make a MySpace too. We should get people to
Bring
contact
MySpace
us there.
back.
Yeah, so
maybe
they
we'll
won't censor everything.
Maybe we'll just buy it.
So thanks for tuning in, guys. Locker Room Talk Uncut.